Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I was reading the Home Pros email today and it said, Happy Middle Child of the Week Day. So, happy Wednesday. Let me know in the comments if you're a middle child. Those always seem to have the most angst of life in general. But I am so excited today as the oldest child. If you know me at all, you might know that as my personality, but so excited to be talking to you today about your brand. And is it actually working for you? Is it doing the legwork and driving calls and leads for you? Or is it just there? Or even worse, is it there and it's not authentic to you? It's wearing almost a costume. We're coming off of this holiday season, Halloween season of costumes and masks and all the fun things, but an inauthentic brand that's just wearing a costume that doesn't accurately represent you or your team can be doing you more harm than good. So we're going to dive into it today, talk all things about your brand. And I know you might be thinking, a brand, it's just your logo and your truck wrap. And like, how does that really have any effect to it? And it's like, your visual identity will help you get the phone call, but it's your brand and what you do after that initial phone call that is the true tail sign of your brand and building a loyal customer base and raving fans. So we're going to dive into it today. Thanks for sipping some lemonade with me in the virtual lemonade stand. Can't wait to get into it. So, is your brand really working for you? What do I mean by that? So I'm talking about, is it accurately portraying the type of service and the type of company that you are? Is it painting a picture for what is it going to be like working with your company? So you know how you can tell people, you can judge them by the outfits and the clothes that they wear. You can probably guess what age they're in. You can probably guess if they have some type of they're dressed where they look very professional. Do they work in the banking or the finance world, or they look like they are super creative? I could see them being something in the art space, their musician space, things like that. By people's haircuts, you can make these assumptions about them. You can make they look really young. They look older. By the way people dress, by the way they have their hair, they can look. Do they look like they're in today's world, or they look like they're stuck in the 80s? Okay, a haircut can do that for all sorts of things. Okay, mullets are coming back. When I see it on a little kid, I'm like, okay, I can tell who your parents are. But the same way of how your company does. So if your brand, your logo is designed intentionally, like it looks very professionally designed, that there was thought behind it, even if it's a fun brand or it's very colorful, or if it has a more playful font or a playful character, that is telling me things. And if it's very not as colorful, okay, but it looks very professional, things like that, I'm already making my own inferences of the type of people that work for this company, okay, by the type of experience, by I'm going to have some inferences of, are you going to answer the phone or not? How are you going to answer the phone? What is the follow-up process going to be like? What is the pricing going to be like? Are you going to be around in several years to fulfill my warranty? Or are you like I don't know if they're going to make it or not? Um, People are making all these inferences about your brand. And at least whatever your vibe is, at least if it looks professionally done, professionally put together and laid out and telling whatever story you want to tell, there's already an intentionality that people will appreciate. I can already recommend that, like, hey, they've got their things together. Okay. Like they're probably going to show up on time when they say they're going to show up on time because they took that intentionality with the way they're presenting themselves. They're putting their best foot forward there. Or do you have a brand and a logo that just looks like, I just had to get some business cards printed and like I didn't know what to put on it. So like I just had the girl at Office Depot just like design me something. And so like that's how the logo came to be, and like we just stuck with it. Okay, not intentional. So I'm also going to make the emphasis that you're not going to be very intentional to create a customer experience for me. Okay. And probably nobody has ever called your office and said, you don't look like you have an intentional customer experience. No, they've probably never said that, but it is these subliminal messages that people have. And so your visual identity is what will get your phone to ring, is what will make people pick up the phone because they already feel like they know you and have experienced you. And then do they feel like they would appreciate the type of experience that they're going to come to expect, okay? So in the same ways of how you can make inferences about people by the clothes that they wear, the haircut that they wear. People are also making those same inferences about your visual identity. So your visual identity gives people an idea of what it's going to be like. That's what gets the phone to ring. But your actual brand is so much more than just your logo and just your truck route. Okay. It's everything from how do you answer the phone? What do your technicians actually wear when they show up? What does your office team wear when they show up? When people are touring your office, or maybe you're hosting a community event, what does your team wear? Are they wearing slouchy hoodies and baggy sweatpants? Well, no one sees them. It's fine. They just answer the phones. Or like, are they dressed like because they're excited to come to work, because they have something to actually present? All of those things are so telling to your brand. What is your communication style before you actually do the job in the service, and then after? Those are all things that are really your true brand. The people of your team, the culture of your team, that is what's true telling. And so beyond, once you get that initial phone call, that brand, that piece aspect is what will convert to loyal customers and raving fans. And so beyond just the truck route and a logo, that's what we need to focus on and make sure that you are presenting, and make sure that it's authentic and telling your story, and not just wearing a costume or being fake. So let's talk about when your team members answer the phone. Do they answer, "Thank you for calling. I see Macy on here. Thank you for calling Advantage Heating and Plumbing. What can we do for you today?" Or is it like, "Thank you for calling Advantage. How can I make your day better today?" Do you have energy in your voice? Are you building empathy with the client? Like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I hate that is going on for you today. We're going to get that solved for you right away." Are you providing empathy and providing solutions for them? Or are you like, "Yeah, I know everyone's been having that problem. I don't know when we can get you in. Let me see. Like, I might can squeeze you in." Okay. Does it almost feel like the customer now, is a burden to you, and you're having to like go these extra steps and these extra measures to squeeze them in? Or are you providing like genuine care and genuine empathy? Those are all triggers of your brand. Okay. Is your call center team, are they building up your technicians before they even get out there? Okay. So what I mean by that is, "Hey, Mrs. Jones, oh my gosh, I hate that you were experiencing that. That happened to me last year and it was the absolute worst. But I promise you, here at Advantage, we're going to get you taken care of as soon as possible. I see Cody out here on our schedule. He's going to be out here this afternoon. You are going to love Cody. He's been with us for such a long time. He is all the customers' favorites. He has so much experience and dedication. He's going to walk you through every step of the process. I know you're going to love Cody. Do you have any dogs by any chance that we need to know of so that you can put away or anything?" "Oh, that's so great. Cody has a dog too. He loves little golden retrievers just like you do." So building up those technicians before they even get into the home, one, it's building more trust and authority to where when they actually get there and show up, the customer's already gonna have so much of a better experience. They already trust Cody so much more because your team has built them up. And it's showing just a camaraderie. There's overall a connection, not a disorientation between like what happens in the office versus what happens in the field versus what happens in the follow-up. You can totally tell a difference. Okay. And people, again, those are the pieces of your brand that it's not tangible, but it goes a long way into building that loyal customer base. And then like, what do you wear? So like, I mentioned it a little bit, but like when your team is in the office, like, is it just like like just rolled out of bed, like just here to answer the phone, just here to roll up in the truck? Or do they look put together, like they take their job seriously and they take fixing this problem for you seriously? Does it look cohesive? So I'm working on a brand right now for a pool company. And so we always start any rebrands that we do with the client, we always start with a competitive analysis. And so the customers, they love to see the competitive analysis. They love to see what everybody else, even though they know what the people in their market are doing, they love it for us to put our own eyes and perspective and just kind of validate all these things. And again, we have not actually gotten a service from these people. We are not in their market. We have not actually gotten them to come out to our home and clean our pool or anything like that. But again, this visual representation is already so telling to me. I can tell, make inferences about the size of their company, how long they've been in business. I can tell, like, are they like it's just a body that's probably going to come out here? Or is it like, this is someone's actual job and career that they take pride in, that they're going to deliver an experience and a quality service? I'm making these inferences. So when we're doing this competitive analysis for this pool company, we're looking at one of their competitors, and they had a group team photo, and it was like the cover photo on their Facebook. Facebook page, and like everyone's wearing like different t-shirts, like not even like branded t-shirts, like it's just like a shirt that they got from the county fair last year, and one of them is a Salt Life, and one of them is a Mossy Oak camo, and they're all wearing different shorts and pants, and some are wearing flip-flops, and some are wearing shoes, and like some got a hat cocked off to the side, and one guy looked actually kind of put together, like he had his shirt tucked in, like a clean shirt, his hat was on straight, he was wearing like real shoes, and I was like, if I was calling, like, I would want that guy to come out to me, okay? Because like he looked the most put together. He looked like he was going to have a better service, better quality. He looked like he knew more about what he was talking about. So when he's going to come to my home and be like, here's what you need to do. Here's the problem that we're having. Am I going to trust him or not? But I did not have that same feeling just by looking at this group photo from any of these other friends over here. Because I'm like, please don't send him out to my house. Like, did he just come out of his probation meeting? Like, I'm not sure. Okay. But it's not building trust or authority, but it's also making me think that like the company as a whole doesn't have a lot of intentionality to making sure that it's all consistent, to making sure that from the time you call in to us scheduling, to us doing the actual service, to the follow-up of how am I going to get the invoice and pay it, to leaving your review, anything like I could not tell there was any consistency to it. So I can already tell that like, there's probably gonna be like a cheaper service. So like I can make those inferences there. But I can probably also guess that it's going to be like hit or miss onto like, are they going to actually be good or not? Just from looking at it, okay? But again, when you have that intentionality to, we are going to make sure that everyone looks the same, that we look professional, that we look put together, those are the types of things that will, again, play into your brand and make it work for you. Okay. So again, before I've ever picked up the phone and actually called your office, before I've ever had the opportunity for you to win me over with your fantastic CSR team, with your fantastic technicians, anything like that, I've already made those inferences. But when you can put intentionality to that, that's what gets your brand working for you and not against you. Okay. Before it's ever come in, before the ever first phone call. Okay. Also the way that you communicate is all parts of your brand. Okay. Are you going to overly communicate and be very responsive and be very forward? Okay. Like we had to have a service done at our house, and like, again, called, not a lot of empathy. It's like, felt like a bother that I'm sorry that I'm calling you with the problem that you say your company has a service for. Like, well, we can get out to you between 2:00 and Thursday, like a 3-day window. Okay, sorry to bother you, sorry to put you out. Okay, so not much empathy, not communicating. So like, what do you want me to just sit at home and not go to work, not run any errands, not pick the kids up from school or drop them off at dance class or anything because I might need to be home between now and next Thursday? Or are you going to overly communicate like, hey, here's our window, but we will text you beforehand so that you know that you have time to get back home, to leave your office and get back home, or whatever that might be. Are you communicating who's actually coming to my house? Okay. Again, a lot of times, a lot of us have female demographics who are our actual customers. They're probably going to be the one that's going to pick up the phone and make the appointment. They're probably going to be the one that's going to meet your technician at the house. So like, how can I provide a level of safety and security and reassurance that everything's going to be okay? So like, are you communicating, hey, it's John, it's Cody coming out. Fun fact about Cody, he's actually a black belt. Like, it humanizes these people. It makes them to where I can already trust them a lot more. I can trust what they're saying and the recommendations that they're making to me. It also humanizes them. So where like, if they do happen to make a mistake, like it's okay. Like you're a real person here. Okay. You're not just a body or a service or just a technician. Like you're a real human here. Okay. So the way you're communicating, and then like, what is the follow-up process after? Like, do you do the service and like, I never hear from you ever again? Or like, do you send a thank you text? Do you send a thank you gift? Is your technician communicating that like, hey, is there anything else that I could do for you? Was I able to provide a service that met your expectations and solved your problem? If so, I would love to have a review from you. And if you could mention me by name, that means so much to me. Our company spiffs us on these things, or they give us some bonuses, or actually we're doing a competition in-house. I'm on the leaderboard right now. I would love your review if I did provide a good service. And if not, is there anything else I could have done better? Am I expecting that? That goes above and beyond. Again, they're paying intentional attention to this experience where I know what's going to happen next. Okay. I know what has happened up until this point. I know what's going to happen next. How are we paying now? Okay. Should I pay right now? Should I expect to get an invoice at the end of the day, next week, next month, whatever? That sounds so mind boggling to somebody. Like, who would wait a month to invoice some of you people? And I know, I'm right there with you. Okay. But you'd be shocked how many people are. They're like, well, they got to fill out their paperwork and then submit it into the office. And then, little Shanna Sue in the office, she's got to work it all up and then she'll get it sent out to you and she'll send it in the mail. And like, before you know it, yeah, it has been 6 months, or not, hopefully not 6 months, but maybe 6 weeks, a month time. Okay. Not a great experience. Like, I'm ready to be done with this. And like, also, if you're one of those people that love to pay their bills and like be on time, like, that's almost insulting to have something out there and open like against your name. Okay. My dad was talking about that the other day. They're doing some home renovations on their home today. And, somehow it got shifted to where they sent the invoice for the first time 2 weeks later after the job. And so it automatically just came to as overdue. It's like, overdue? Like, I'm not overdue. Like, I take offense to that. You just sent it to me just now and I'm paying it 30 minutes later. But like, just that. So again, that customer experience, but have you communicated that to them? Okay. Do you look like you're like, yeah, when we get around to it, or like, no, we have a system in place. Like, we have processes and things in place to where this is an overall experience. Okay. So all of those things are things that play into your brand. Okay. Those are the things that beyond the initial phone call, that your visual identity, that your logo, your mascot, your character, the advertising pieces that you put out into the world, your truck wraps that roll up, those will get you the phone call. But to have a lasting brand, those, the how you answer the phone, how you communicate, how you do the service, what you're actually wearing, those are the intangible branding pieces that will build a lifetime loyalty customer. Okay. Another big part of your brand is your core values. Do you have core values in your company? And so we're like, yeah, we got like we're good people, integrity, trustworthy. Okay, those are all the norm. Okay, I expect any company and business to have integrity. Okay, if not, you should be in the jailhouse. So like, that's the norm. That's our bottom standard, that you're going to have integrity and do the right thing. Okay, but like, what beyond that makes you special and makes you why I should pick you? Okay, does your team know that? Do you yourself even know that as the business owner? Okay, so is it clearly defined where you know how to guide your team and then they know how to represent that to their actual customers? So at Lemon Seed, we do have our core values defined, and guess what? They are on brand. So at Lemon Seed, we say that we will be zesty. So we will be zealous for creativity. We will be experts in strategy. We will be servant-minded advocates. We will be thorough and timely, and we will be yielding results. Okay. Those are Lemon Seed's core values. And every single team member on our team, I don't care what department you're in, you could say like, I'm not on the graphic design team, so like, I don't have to be creative. False. Okay. Everyone on our team, as a marketing and branding agency, you have to be creative. Okay. Even our finance person, Ashley, we tell her like, hey, there's creative ways of how to structure this budget. Okay. For how to dream up ways of how we're going to bonus and spiff our team. Okay. Like, there takes creativity in that. So there may not naturally be a core creativity in the traditional sense, but every single role in our company has to have creativity. Okay. It is a core value of ours. We listed out, we're going to be zealous for creativity so that we can always be forward thinking, creative, coming up with new ideas. That's important for us as a company, but also for all of our clients. We're going to be experts in strategy. Every single department in our team, there's a strategy to why we do what we do and how we do it. So from our social media team, to our graphic designers, to our marketing coordinators, to our strategists, to our admin team, there's a strategy behind that. And so all of our team knows that. We will be thorough and timely. Our clients they don't care if it is the most fantastic, beautifully designed graphic they've ever seen, or if it is the most funny and creative social media and it is so on trend and it probably has the potential to go viral. If we're not timely with it, we'll miss the mark. Okay. Sometimes by us taking too long or like not communicating well, it can ruin the final fantastic deliverable because it took too long or because we missed the mark and now it's no longer going to go viral. Okay. That is a piece that is important to us in every single aspect. So just because the final product is fantastic, if we're not thorough or we have a bunch of typos or, I know they don't call it the maintenance plan. I know they call it the advantage plan, but we put maintenance plan, even though the advantage plan is doing maintenance on their system. And they've had to tell us that so many times. it ruins the experience by us not being thorough and us being timely. Um, so those are some ways of how it is a part of our brand, our core values. So we have little trifold little mini cards where it has our core values, it has our mission, our vision. We go over it every single week on our company meeting, on the Monday morning meeting. Our team knows it, I'd say for the most part, by heart. Okay. They have shirts printed with it. We have signs up on the office wall that has it. It is something that we talk about actively, and it is something that we will hire and we will fire off of. That if it is a core value, if you feel truly conviction about it, you should be so convicted about these core values and what your company stands on that you will hire and you will fire off of it. Okay. And if you're not willing to do that, then it's not really a core value. It's just a suggestion. I'm like, it'd be nice. No. Okay. So like, do you have that defined? Okay. Again, these are the intangible pieces of your brand. And when your team knows them, when they embody them, when they live them out, that is when your brand is working for you. Okay. It's not just a suggestion. It's not just that it would be nice. It's not inauthentic to where, you know, we just checking a box to say that we have it. No, that is when your brand will work for you. That is when your people will know what their North Star is of how they will operate every single day, how they will, every client interaction that they have, every customer interaction, the way that they answer the phone, the way that they do the follow up, that will guide them because they know. And then that is what will build your brand and make it work for you. Okay. So beyond you having to micromanage every little thing of those pieces, when they can embody and embrace those core values, it will make your brand outward facing and it will go beyond the initial phone call. Okay. Turning into those raving fans. So, you know, and then a big part of this and a big part of like, is your brand just wearing a costume is it authentic to you? Does it tell your story and what you're passionate about? Does it tell those core values? Does it represent that? So a lot of people ask us at Lemon Tea, like, how did y'all come up with the name? And so to me, it's the most basic name because it's so clearly defined, but it is unique and it is memorable. And it gave us a lot of branding elements where we can use fun words like, you know, our creative juices is the lemonade. So like you're here in the lemonade stand with us right now. Our core values are zesty because lemons are zesty. We like to juice up your branding and juice up your marketing, and we can get a full squeeze. But I knew at the end of the day, like something was going to be very important to Crystal and I as we were starting this company. I knew our ideas and our personalities and the services that we were going to bring into the industry, I knew they were going to be bright and fresh. Okay. And what we do by doing branding and doing marketing is we plant seeds so that our contractors, so that they can grow and they can flourish. Okay. So it's our job to plant those seeds. But at the end of the day, you're the hero of it through fantastic operations and KPIs and holding your team accountable. We just plant those seeds, you grow and flourish it. But that's how Lemon Seed came to be. That there's a story behind it to it. And I think if you've never heard that, so you're probably like, oh yeah, I get it now. I get it. At face value, it might seem like a dumb name, but now you're like, okay, I get it. And like it sticks, it's sticky. It represents what our company is passionate about. And so when people can hear your story and see your story and know that there's depth to it, know there's intentionality, they have a lot more buy-in. So I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and I don't know why it popped up on my feed because like I don't buy this brand a lot or anything, but it was the story of Patagonia. And I say I don't buy it a lot. I've never bought anything Patagonia. If you know me, you know I'm cheap. However, I've watched this video now and it's like how we built this and it's like what their core values are. And so I do like hearing brand stories and like how they operate and what their core values are and things like that. Like I always think it's interesting and fascinating. And now I want to go buy me some Patagonia. Okay. But so like I know it as like the little like puffer vest and the little like Sherpa jackets and things like that. But I didn't realize when they started their company like back in the 60s, it was all for like mountain climbers. And they actually made it through these like forged iron steel, like the like pickaxe type thing. And like, so they're very intentional to what was going to be sustainable and in an environmental space, but what was going to have high quality. And so they talked a lot about that. And they talked about how like everything. So like it started off in the 60s of like these little mountain spikes for people that go climbing Mount Everest and the Himalayas and, you know, things I've never done in my life, nor do I really have that much passion to do. But one of their core values was quality and sustainable environmentalism. And so again, whether you're like a super eco-environmentalist or not, you can probably appreciate this. But They had signs up on the wall that says like Mother Earth is our only shareholder. And so they talked a lot about how like whatever profits they make at the end of the year, whatever they're not going to reinvest into the company, they're going to give out to charitable organizations and nonprofits and causes. And so like that sounds fine and nice and dandy, but like they also had intentionality to like what types of causes are they going to give to. So they are all about environmental focus, clean water, removing trash from the oceans, things like that. That is a guiding light for them in how they're giving away their money. It's also a guiding light for them on like what types of fabrics do they use. So now that this has evolved from beyond just the little pickaxe stakes where they have full clothing lines and backpacks and bags and things like that. Again, their core value of environmentalism and reusableness, if that's even a word, is guiding how they do. So they decided to come up with this fabric, and they've made a whole line of shorts and jackets and things like that from fishing nets that people would use in the ocean. And once they got torn or ripped, they could never reuse it to where it would just go in the landfill. And so again, their commitment to their core value was, hey, we can turn this into something that's going to mean something to our consumer. So like environmentalism is something that's passionate to them, and it has attracted and grown their own customer base because of that core value that they have. And so they developed this whole line of shorts, and then they talked about the quality side. So like, they went from having the seam here on this shirt to where they made it more like a Y seam, because they're like, you can move your arms a lot better. So when you're being active and hiking or climbing or whatever, it's like, I'd have never thought about that. I thought it was just a shirt. But you can tell that quality, and like they make up for it in their price point. Like this little pair of shorts was $70. And it's like, that's not my, but it's important and it means something to their exact customer database. And they're authentic to that. They stay true to that. They try very much not to be the fast fashion and like, how can I make these shorts be $15? And I know it's not going to last that long. They're probably going to tear within 3 months, and then it's going to end up in a landfill. They're like, we want to do the opposite of that. And so they're true to their core values and what they stand for. And they have a clientele that appreciates that. And so that's where you get super focused and how you can create really raving loyal fans, because people are bought into you, your company, they're bought into your brand. And you're not trying to be everything to everybody. Okay. That's the most inauthentic, wishy-washiness. Nothing is going to build a raving fan. At that point, it's just a service. Okay. At that point, yeah, some guy just came and fixed my air conditioning system. Some guy in a church, I don't even remember his name, like just pulled up and they got that leak to quit in the bathroom. That's just a service. But when you can tell that story, display your core values, create products and services that represent your core values. So for home service industries, Patagonia donates lots of their money to environmental causes, but like, is there a cause that you could get behind? Whether it's through a veterans program or animals, maybe you're very passionate about animals, animal shelters, things like that. Is it a medical cause? Hodgkin's lymphoma, Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that. There's ways of how you can pivot your money and your resources and the time that you're going to spend to, whether it's where your team members serve on nonprofit boards, or where you're going to sponsor this event or donate money to this. You can align yourself to tell your brand story through these causes that you support, through maybe even the colors that you incorporate into your brand. And another thing on Patagonia that I wrote down, again, there's a commitment to sustainability, is they have a whole department for repairing clothes. So again, they don't want you to go into the landfill. You can send in your wetsuit or your shorts or whatever, and they will repair them for you. Again, it's that commitment, something they feel deeply convicted about. And they have the services and a business model now for those things, and they have a customer and a clientele that appreciate that. So I want to challenge you guys today. So like, is your brand working for you? Have you put together an intentional visual identity? So from your logo, your truck wrap, your marketing materials, is it telling the story that like, hey, we're put together. Hey, we have our stuff in line. Hey, we're going to show up when we say we're going to show up. We're going to be communicative. Is it portraying that and communicating that message for you so that you can get the first phone call, so that you can get the lead? But then beyond that, do you have the brand and the intentionality and the culture and the articulation to make it to where your team knows and they can carry that out to where beyond just that first phone call, you've turned them into a loyal customer and you've kept them? Okay. My husband, Chris, is doing a presentation with our chamber tomorrow, Chamber University. And it's talking about how to go beyond just the transaction. And so he's including in his talk. If you're local, I see Barb here in the chat. If you're local, it'd be a fantastic class to go attend tomorrow. But he's talking about how a Seinfeld episode, and they're talking about like my guy. So George is having a back problem. He's like, oh, my back. And Jerry's like, oh, you got to go see my chiropractor. My guy, he's the best. He's the best. And he's like, oh, everybody's guy's the best. He's like, no, my guy, he really is. And like Kramer starts talking about his fruit guy, and Jerry's like, I don't want to walk 3 extra miles. He's like, oh no, it's so worth it. And you can return the fruit. He's like, that's not even important to me. But he's like, no, my guy's the best. This fruit tastes the best. He has conviction about his guy. And so again, what can you do to provide that customer experience to build that brand so that where you are somebody's guy? I know a guy. I have a guy. They are your advocates. They are your marketing material. What are you doing to make that? And so that's what I want to challenge you guys with it. Make your brand work for you to do those things so that you're not having to be in the rat race of the constant lead generation. And it's just a transactional transaction. Okay. When you don't have a brand, when there's nothing for people to hang on to, it always comes down to price. If you've given them no reason to care about you, no reason for them to connect to you on a human level, nothing about your story, nothing about what you do in this community or anything like that, none of those things ever matter. And then all that's left is the service and the price. And I know all of us here are building so much more bigger things, bigger companies and impact beyond just the service and the price. So that's my challenge to you. Is your brand working for you? Not just out there looking pretty, not just being there, being unintentional, making it work for you. So it takes intentionality, it takes time, it takes commitment, it takes conviction. But that is what Lemon Seed is here for you to do. So we do this every single day for home service contractors. We are personally so passionate about it to help you define your story and to find that nugget of what is important. Also, side note, if you have not seen Lemon Seed's Great American Brand Story, we have a Facebook page. We'll link it down here in the chat. We have a website, the Great American Brand Story. But we gave away a whole rebrand to a company in Skagit County in Washington State. We partnered with so many vendors that gave them new websites, new signage, new call center resources, things like that to really launch their brand forward. And they'll talk about in the video how like we didn't know who we really wanted to be. And Lemon Seed extracted that out from us. They got to know us. They got to know our story. They got to help us define our core values. And then they figured out a way to illustrate that into the brand. And so check out Great American Brand Story. That's what we do every single day for all of our contractors. Okay. So if you would like to step up your brand, to make it more intentional, to have it work for you, please feel free to reach out to Lemon Seed, lemonseedmarketing.com or hello@lemonseedmarketing.com. We would be more than happy to chat with you about that, what that could look like. Lemon Seed, we like to say friends and family talk for free. And so if you're on this social media live, you're a friend in the family. And so we can do complimentary discovery calls just to see if we'd be a good fit, how we might can juice up your brand a little bit. So thank you guys. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them down in the chat. But I am always passionate about branding because I've seen how it can transform lives. I've seen how it can transform companies, how it builds an internal culture that people are proud of. They're proud to wear, they're proud to exemplify it. And it's a recruiting tool for you. Okay. I don't know anyone here that hasn't been like, oh, I just need more people, or like, oh, my team, I can't find good help, When you have a brand that exemplifies who you are, it's intentional, things like that, it will become an attraction magnet for you, for great talent. Okay. So don't sleep on that. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic middle child day week here. As always, Lemon Seed is your marketing strategy and branding expert. So we are here to help you with whatever questions you might have. This will be posted live to our website here pretty soon. So if you missed it, feel free to go back and watch out. You can also check out tons of other webinars and content that we are always putting out. So we are always putting out things from, a maintenance club to community support, things like that. Follow Lemon Seed on all the social media channels, sign up for our webinars, and we will see you next time, guys. Thank you so much.